Welcome to Sound of Hope News. I'm your host, Wei Fang, and this is my co-host,
Kathy Zhang.
Hello,
everyone. Good to see you again.
Hello, your familiar Chinese-American journalist from San Francisco, California. Yeah, so yesterday we asked some questions, to you guys about, how do you think about our program and also how about our accent, right?
Yeah, a lot of responses.
Yeah. We want to say thank you very much for all the, great responses and suggestions. And thank you so very much. Let me just read. This is only like 40 minutes ago. Deborah Bittner said, your English is wonderful. You are both articulate and full of zeal. Thank you for your humility and your willing service to this country.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
And Larry Foley, he said, watching you from Germany. Wow. Never be afraid to venture out. You are doing just great. Keep up the great work. And there's a lot of response like that.
Yeah, we're really, really encouraged.
Yeah, and we also heard from Steve again. Is that right?
No, not Steve. Actually, we talk about Steve,
yes.
who had
Steve
invited
Neal.
us to his hotel in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the Delights Resort Hotel.
Yeah, we really look forward to that. Then Kingdom audience called Kingdom 247. He suggested that do your show from Steve's hotel in Las Vegas. What an idea!
Yeah, I was worried about that. I would never find any time to visit Steve.
Yeah, and also, he also gave us a score. Really, he said my score for quality, value, content, and integrity is 12 out of 10.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Chinese way of saying thank you.
Yeah, I said that this is a serious go-to channel for solid news reporting. Appreciate it, Kingdom 247.
You guys are great. Okay, you guys are great. Thank you so very much. So today we will do the same thing. We'll have a 3 section for you. The first is the news about the U.S. election. The second would be Chinese news related to U.S. election or United States. The third one would be our perspective.
Yeah, so just people who watched yesterday's show, we will bring you the second episode of my interview with the young man. A lot of comments also about the young man, and people care about his safety. I passed a word to him, and today he replied that he appreciates
All right.
everyone.
So keep those feedback coming, and we'll also pass on to him. Okay, the first about this American news story. Let me tell you 2 types of people reflect in today's news story. First one actually has to do with a series of setback. All right, so attorney Sidney Powell, her case in both Georgia and also in the state of Michigan were both rejected today. One a little after 9 o'clock in the morning, another is before noon. So that was 2 setback. And also actually 2 days ago on Saturday, Attorney Lin Wood's case, which was in the 11th Circuit Court, was also rejected. Basically, I look into that, and the reason is this. They said they filed too late, and this is a federal court. We don't have enough jurisdiction on this kind of thing in the federal court. You should go to the state court. And also they said this is too much a thing to rule on, too big a deal to change the result of the election.
It sounds like they just don't have the courage to.
Well, that's the comment I want to come to. And the fourth piece of news, which is not that pleasant either. This has to do with the Arizona House Speaker, who said he cannot support the decertify the Arizona voting result. And the reason also is just people already voted. It's too much a thing to overturn. So this is one thing. If you ask my opinion, which is your opinion, I heard you. I share that similar. Why so many judges as well as politicians chose to saying that we cannot decertify it. We cannot do anything here, and you are not strong enough. Things like that. in my honest opinion, because we are both journalists, sometimes like a commentator, in this special time, a special situation, we kind of carry the role, play the role of both. So if I put my commentator's hat, I would say, what is happening now is really the big test for everybody. A big test for common people, of course, a big test for President Trump and his team, for people working, for him, and also for common people, and also for the elected officials like, judges, or sometimes they are appointed judges and representatives. Okay, sometimes venture out and look right into the fact and do the right thing would take a lot of courage. Sometimes it's easy to just stand back or sit on the fence and wait for this whole thing to sort it out by itself without being part of it. I would say that's the mentality of many politicians. And if they are like that, I would say I'm sorry for you, because you are the elected official, and there will be tough time in your career, in your political career, and at those times, you should be take the courage to do the right thing. That being said, another piece of news is about what happened to a common people, which is a typical, I would say, American story. Okay, an individual story, individual hero, which I talked about in my Chinese show just about 2 hours ago. As we remember that in the northwest corner of the state of Michigan, there's a small county called Antrim County,
right,
which became famous because there was serious voting problem. Okay, there 6,000 ballots was flipped from Trump to Biden, and then it was corrected. Okay, the situation was corrected with a hand count. However, nothing followed through. Then there's a gentleman. His name is called William Barley, and William wasn't happy about this matter. And he's a real estate agent, right? He also worked in the planning commission, I guess a volunteer type of planning commissioner, something like that. So when he saw this situation, he wasn't happy. All right. So what he did, he made a phone call to the sheriff, to the county sheriff. He complained about that. He said, "I think there's a fraud involved. You guys need to investigate." The sheriff came. All right, took his word and things like that. And then concluded that we couldn't do anything about this because this is cyber crime. It's above our capability.
Okay.
So they advised him to go to the state police and also the FBI, which he did. Interesting enough.
So what happened?
Both state police and FBI told them that they don't want to touch the issue. They don't want to touch the issue. I don't know what's the original word. Okay, what it was reported is both state police and FBI said they don't want to touch this. So on the November 23rd, and William, hired attorney, a constitutional attorney, and filed a lawsuit against the county, saying that I suspect there's fraud involved here. You guys need to check. We need to check your Dominion machine. There are 22 Dominion machines in the county.
Right.
Okay, county purchased that, and then the county resisted. They don't want to do this. All right, so he persists on, and the case proceed. I think he lost it at the low court, and then the case proceeded to the 13th appeal court in Michigan, and then there's a judge. His name is Kevin. I want to mention his name because I think it's worth mentioning, and the judge's name is Kevin Eisenheimer. Yeah, Judge Eisenheimer then ruled that yes, you have right to check those Dominion machines. Okay. Mind you guys, as of now, there's no official check, tear apart and check the inside the Dominion machine that has been used in 29 states of this country on November 3rd. All right, so this is 2 days ago. On hearing that news, the patriot of the atrium, they surround the courthouse. Okay, they're afraid somebody's going to come in and take those Dominion machine away.
Oh.
They circle the courthouse for 2 days and block anybody from entering that until Williams forensic team came to get those to work on those Dominion machine. And who is this forensic cyberspace security team? It is led by General Michael Flynn.
Oh, yeah.
So Jennifer Flynn sent 7 experts, to that courthouse, and then they got a hold of these 22 machines, and then, make an image copy of everything. So they've been working since 9 o'clock yesterday morning. So basically, what I heard is that in the 48 hours or 72 hours, they're going to have a result. So this is the first time this suspicious machine got opened up, and there's a thorough check there, and to see what is happening in that machine. All right, so that's not just a story. And I'm quoting the rest of it come from a YouTuber. His name is called Professor Toto. Okay, actually his YouTube channel is kind of popular, but he's a pastor. Okay, pastor in Mississippi. So he told the rest of the story, which I believe it because I did some investigation. I didn't check every detail, but I checked enough. I think his word is trustworthy.
So what did he say?
He said this. Okay, he actually checked the presentation of the Dominion. So how Dominion is able to sell their machines into the 29 states.
Yeah, and they got like 1/3 of the market in the United States.
Right. So they got sales team going to county by county, and the machine is quite expensive. The machine is over $8,000
a piece.
Yeah, a piece.
Okay.
All right. So they went to Antrim County and tried to sell it to them. And then, there's about like a 10 or so, precinct there. So they needed 22 machines. The county said, we don't have the money. You take 80,000, you times 22, it's about $200,000. The county does not have $250,000 for this. So we cannot afford it. And they said, no problem. Okay, we got the money for you.
Oh.
And where does the money come from? The money comes from a fund called Help America Vote. Help America Vote. And this is a fund set up by a guy whose name is called Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of the Facebook. He took out $430 million to help counties all over the U.S. Part of the purpose to buy this, Dominion machine without. As a grant. They don't have to spend the money. So it is expensive. You cannot afford it. Doesn't matter. Just sign in here. You got the machine. That's how the Dominion machine got sold into this small county on the northwest Michigan. And then while they signed it, there's a 7-page contract agreement, which says you cannot check inside the Dominion machine.
Yeah.
Only the Dominion voting system company can check the inside.
Yeah, I think this part, when I interviewed Mr. Ken Timmerman, who wrote the Election Heist book, he mentioned that. He said that, that's one of the difficult things with all those voting machine company. They sign like this type of agreement with the county or state, saying, it's their proprietary, rights. So they cannot check into those machines.
Okay, so then we have a good judge, Eisenhower. He just said nonsense. Okay, void it. So that's why the forensic team was able to come in, and then they came in yesterday and they took the machine. They got a hold of the machine. They did the image copy. They are working on this. So we are holding our breath. After another 24 hours, maybe we can have more things to report to you, like this time tomorrow. Let's hope so. So the reason why I tell you this is our 2 different news stories, right? The first one, you got the judge of the 3 court, and who chose, in my opinion, to stay on the fence. They don't want to touch this tough issue. This is too much to touch, too much risk. They're gonna say you're too late. Even though the election system of the nation, are at stake. They would say, it's too late.
Yeah, if you ask my opinion, I think, according to our Constitution, the most important thing is uphold our Constitution. And our Constitution protects everybody's rights, the equal protection. So, I think the judge used this type of excuse saying, it's too late. And also, I actually read about how, at least in Georgia, the judges actually didn't want to see the evidence that the Trump lawyer team tried to present. So that's like mind-boggling. But
he just say wouldn't go to the state court, go to another court. And the Sydney Power, because of the lateness of that, indeed, yes, it's not easy to collect all the evidence, present a good case. This is nothing expected to happen.
They say usually like Jenna Alice.
Yeah.
She said 1 minute on the court. Sometimes it takes years to get the evidences. Yeah.
So anyway, this is what happened. This is the two news story in this country. So hopefully tomorrow we would be able to bring you the update on the good story, which is William Barley and the Judge Kevin Eisenhower. I think those are the good Americans. They took their duty, and they just took the courage to do what is right. And it also shows what an individual could do. I told this to my Chinese viewers. I said, just learn from them. This is a real American. All right, the second story. Before we move into the second story, which is done by our investigative reporter, Kathy, I want to just show you a photo, just F2, right? Now, let's show F2. This is a photo that of today's Tucker Carlson show. And then look at this. This is Tucker Carlson show's screenshot, okay? On the top right is, if you read the fine word there, it's called inconvenient truth, right? Inconvenient truth. That actually come from our network, Son of Hope News Network. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have another investigative reporter. Her name is Jennifer Zhang, and she has Twitters, and the name is called Inconvenient Truth. Have a lot of original reports, so Tucker Carlson picked that up and actually, aired this 3 days after we did.
3 days after we did. Well, at least it is getting out. So, if you stick with our channel, you probably get most updated news and stories.
So we're very glad that we're making a difference, because of you guys. Stay with us. We have your, encouragement and your blessing, and then we'll do better. We'll break more news and into the, more American people, into the public. So this is one accomplishment. All right, now let's move to the story of today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so gonna continue to bring to you my interview with Vinness, Ollervides. And if you didn't have a chance to watch yesterday's show yet, just a very brief background about him. He is like the third generation Chinese Communist Party's high official. And his grandfather, used to be considered as one of the founders of the PRC. And this young man is only 24 years old. He lives in Southern California. His life just turned from like a very spoiled kid to also a very gifted writer in China. And then his father just was screwed by Xi Jinping.
Yeah, was purged.
Purged by Xi Jinping back in 2015, 2016, and he became just a very common man. And then now he, came to the United States, came back to the United States because he studied in Stanford before, and now he has accomplishment in his career and life, but now he decided to speak out. So one of the things we talked about yesterday was he found out there were ballots, United States election ballots printed in China. So he did some fishing tactic, brought out some of the evidence, and then, because actually he's a student. He used to be a young student from China. And as you may know, in the United States, around 250,000 Chinese students from mainland China, give or take.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So, we opened the door to the United States, and that's actually how Wei and myself came to the United States, because of, we are able to come here to study, and we're really grateful. But there's one government is really taking advantage of these students. So Vinness is gonna just give us more insights about how the Chinese Communist government are, using these students, controlling these students to serve their own purpose. So Vinness used to be like the vice president of a very large overseas students who went back to China, and they form an alliance called the New Returnee Elite Alliance. Supposedly having a lot of members, and they did a lot of flashy things back in China. So he knows a lot of things, inside stories. So let's see, first of all, just from continuing to talk about the infiltration of the CCP, the Chinese Communist government, into their infiltration of the United States election. So I asked Vinness, what else do you know? When did they start to infiltrate?
Well, as far as I know, this has been a decade or many years since they joined the WTO. So first of all, they trying to use the money since I was young, because my here I want to talk about my background, because my mom, she working for the Chinese government party. She is in Guo Taiban, National Taiwan Relationship Office. So, and then she studied at the Beijing University, and there have like a MBA, 总裁班, all the rich chairman, CEO, they get into there. And every summer when I finish my school, I'm back to Beijing, then I join their meeting too, because my mom wanted to train me to learn something after I graduate. But so during that class, it's not like actually you're going to there learn something. Is you're going to there exchange your resource, which means you get higher resource, you get higher class, you get higher profit. But that is not only for this action is not by those CEOs. Actually, they have to follow by the party. The party give them order. They get close to those politicians. First, they're trying to use the money to bribe them, but that was like 10 years ago. They don't know the role. Of course, it's real. So, but that is not the most terrible thing. They get strong. First of all, they say like, okay, we join the word. We're trying to use the money, and we're trying to get on with those, for example, president or vice president or chancellor, congressman. But then they realized if they just bow their head, it's not working. Because there isn't like China. You bought a mayor, then everything becomes through or pass. Have you the green light? Because United States, you have the Congress, and many people, members, House, a lot of meeting. Then once they follow, they start to learn it. They send the exchange student J1, F1 to United States to learn this system. The most terrible thing is they learn it, they come back against the system. Use the corrupt way to doing that. They're still growing. They're sending the cultural effect, trying to brainwash the whole world, because they're using the money, then they thought, okay, it's not working, then let's try something else. They're trying to use the system. If the guy is against China, then they'll support his enemy, because enemy's enemy is friend. Once his friend get elected, well, they in the back, they win. And also Huawei, and also those people from CSSA.
Tell us about CSSA.
中国学生学者联合会. I don't know that name in English.
So they are basically the Chinese scholars and students in the United States, yes. Right? Yeah. So tell us what you know about them.
They're spy.
How?
Because I know them. Well, because I was in Los Angeles. then there are many people about those exchange students. Well, for some low-level people, they're just the 公费留学, country party will pay for the tuition. They come to there for exchange. For them, just for see the system how this work. They are not the most harmful type for United States. The most harmful type is those people who add F1 visa, but for study the technology. They go into their study for stealing, and that everything is happened during Obama government, because he extended the visa from 1 year to 5 years. Before 2015, we only got 1 year's visa for F1, but he extended for 5 years, and no limitation. You can start whatever you want major in the United States, which means there is no difference between citizen and foreigner. But most of them just, after they graduate, studied, they go into the big tech company, steal the tech, then back to China. Recently case, you can see the Tesla, Apple, and I think Amazon too. They're the core tech gets stolen by China. Mm-hmm. So that's the most harmful thing. And Obama government, they're not stopping those actions. They allowed it. They allowed this to happen.
Yeah. So since there are so many Chinese students here, right? So I asked him, like, how many of them actually work for the Chinese Communist government? Maybe some percentage. Let's see.
They are not directly work for the party. Party won't give to the top people directly direction, tell you should do this, you should do that, because that looks too obviously. Their control is in another new level, which means, for example, I can give you a very detailed example. 北美留学生日报.
Mm-hmm. So it's the North America
Exchange Daily or
Students Daily. Okay.
Its co-founder called Lin Guoyu. Mm-hmm. 30 years old. In China, I can call him loser.
Why?
He got nothing. But he back to China, he's claiming himself, I graduated from United States, I get very succeed in school. And he got an investment from Tengxun. That's in 2015. 500,000 RMB. And then Chinese realized, okay, we have to using the exchange students to get propaganda and advertisement to control their brand. And back to that time, there have many starting up company. They need money. So in China, there have Tengxun, Alibaba, Baidu, IDJ, 真格 Foundation. Special 2015, 李克强在创客 building up a company. Then everybody just get a CEO title. But where their money come from? It's not directly from the government. The government give the many policies to support the students. But for the return, they have to listen to the party. And you cannot do something, cross those lines. If you cross those lines, it can ruin their life, which means no money, no profit. And those circles are gonna kick you out because you will just look like a alien or something. I was in that circle, and I can't stand that anymore. You have to see your supervisor. You have to talk to them, bow to them.
Who are the supervisors? Are they related to what you mentioned at the CSSA?
They're not directly in the CSAC. Actually, they are more higher level for the CSAC. For example, IDG Capital in China, Hongshan Ziben, Xu Xiaoping, 真格基金. Those communists or people who work for communists, they are all controlled by the party, because once you listen to the party, you get the investment. And China, they want an image. It's like, oh, look, those exchange students. Look how they succeed. they get a big company. San Francisco get Valley, and Beijing get Zhongguancun. That they want to get the create the image for them. And in 2015, I was the 新海归精英联盟, exchange student union, which means we have 1.1 million members in China. That's back to that time we were the largest exchange student union in China, and I was vice president. And I wrote a letter to President Xi Jinping to saying like, oh, how grateful China on the role, how lucky we are. But I want to say that isn't come to my true, because in China you have to do this. If you don't do this, you cannot get your profit. People will start to block you. People will start to ignore you because you're alien. Your thinking is different. Outside of the party, you'll never become to the top. Yes, and he responded to me.
Oh.
Yeah, because back to that time, I want to join the Chinese Communist Party to get a higher position. Yes. But I can't stand this anymore because that's painful. I can't just say something what I don't want to say, and they force me just treat me like a puppy. I don't like this feeling. And the most horrible thing is, back to that time I was only 18 or 19, but my acting isn't like a normal kid. Acting like I'm 40 or something. That's painful. I cannot talk free what I talk. If I talk too free what I talk, people are gonna say, "Oh, you are a traitor. You are a traitor of the China." Or they call me Hanjian, but I'm not even Han national. How the I can be the Hanjian?
I wanted to follow up on you mentioned those how the money didn't directly come from the Chinese government, but come through like Tencent, Baidu, and those companies relates to the Chinese government then?
Well, first of all, if you use in China, they don't have Facebook. They use everything: QQ, WeChat, Alipay, WeChat Pay, 携程 Ctrip, Little Red Book, 小红书, and so basically they got a circle. They don't have YouTube. They don't have Twitter. So this is a circle. In China, you have to sacrifice your privacy. Once you sacrifice your privacy, you can get the convenience of the like. But who support this? I mean, it's those companies support it, but who allowed this? Chinese Communist Party. They allow this happen because then they can see everything what it takes on their. They are connecting with the police department. Also, they have the internet cops, Wangjing, to check what you're thinking. If you say some humiliating words to the party gonna arrest you, give you 15 days or those kind of like stuff. Before they using this system in China, but since they getting bigger and bigger, they trying to affect the whole world. Especially for the face recognize. That's very dangerous actually. Because in China, if you go check in the hotel, you have to do the face recognize.
And so what you mean is the companies like Baidu or Tencent, actually they're controlled by the Chinese government then?
Obviously, if look Jack Ma, he doesn't follow by the policy, then what happened to him? His IPO project just got lost. So look on him. That's the best result. What else I can say? That is obviously result everybody knows.
Yeah, so then I asked him, how to identify those, Chinese students work for CCP, because obviously probably not everyone, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's see how he responds.
They studying here, they growing up in here, they learn here, and they make better. That's very horrible. Because I believe the Constitution, I believe the freedom, I believe, for me, I'm just a normal person. But for many people, they very care their own profits. They don't want to lose their job. They want to get more container with China because China is a world factory. You cannot lose the money. You have to live on this life. But if we just standing, keep silence, we just see a monster get growing, then enough bigger we cannot defending anymore. Once they get bigger enough, then that's done. Like right now, people keep silence for those Trump election. Before I think the American, we got it. Even you don't agree a people's opinion, you let him speak because we accept those diversity culture. But right now, we only accept one voice. Another voice, if we don't like it, we just build a wall by ourselves. And also for Asian people, they shy, they don't talk. People usually ignore them. The stereotype of Asian people is shy, don't talk, rich. That's the stereotype of Asian people. So I decided to come here, broke the wall.
Okay. Yeah. So I will skip the one how he respond to my question how to identify those who work for CCP, and he actually, to summarize his points, he actually said, it's actually a gradual like a process, because a lot of people, they don't really do it willingly, but for one reason or the other, they were lured to do this.
Yeah, so I don't know whether you can even recognize the voice, can make sense of that, and so basically that's what happened is the reality.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone would make some correlationship with what's going on now. How he talk about in China or the social media. Social media is like its own circle, right? And they have internet police. If you write something, say something not according to the party line, you will get even arrested. But right now, what's happening in here on the social media, you will get some warning,
It's
right?
a lighter version.
It's lighter version. So people ask, our personal opinion on the socialism in the United States. We will say it's like already a soft socialism on the way.
Okay, so that's this piece for you today, and the last piece we want to share with you is I want to talk a little bit about Kathy and my story. So when we first came to the United States in the 1990s, right? So actually, Chinese student, after they got a good job, I was a high tech engineer in the Silicon Valley. We see Chinese doctor, Chinese attorney because of the familiarity of the language, okay? And Chinese barber, Chinese restaurant, Chinese everything. You can have everything in Chinese. But then I realized that those Chinese American being here, they are not really Chinese Americans. So then that's why we take the route of doing public media. We were doing radio back then. So we went to the core of the value of this country, and then went to the Constitution. This is almost like 15 years ago. We start to bring them what's really about America, and show them the depth of America. What's this culture? What's this value? And we were embraced. People love it. People say, we never heard anything like that. So yeah, there's a need for people like us to grow into real Americans. And our audience, we broadcast through KSQQ FM 96.1. If you're in Bay Area, you know that's the only Chinese voice on air on the road. So pretty much on the off work traffic time, we own the traffic. That's our advantage. And so we talk to a lot of people working in the Silicon Valley, including people who work in the Facebook, and back then Yahoo, and then Cisco, Intel, and Google, and Apple, and so on. Okay, there are many Chinese American working there. So we talk to them. We tell them what we think is the right thing to do, and be loyal to this country. Okay, be loyal to this country. Separate China from CCP. Okay, separate these two entities because they are very, very different entities.
Yeah, and separate Chinese people from this CCP.
And the CCP members. So yeah, that's what we did, and the result is very, very encouraging. You know, we feel very encouraged by by the result, and a lot of people through this learn about American value. Actually, most of them now, they they're fighting this fraud. With their call to the Congress people and their state assembly members and the donation, they didn't do those before. Okay, very few of Chinese people, were used to do that. More and more people, are doing that now. So we're very encouraged. Anyway, so this is our part of becoming part of America, and we think that's right. That should happen to every type of immigrants, because this is a melting pot. This is why this country is great. And then now we're doing our part to safeguard this nation and safeguard our freedom.
Yeah, and I saw, some of the comments saying, "Oh, you are not Chinese American, you are American."
Yeah.
We actually concur. I think the only reason we still would mention Chinese American, I think it's just because, how we look, and some people may get confused where we are broadcasting from. And but no, there's no way we are not identifying we are Americans. So actually, a lot of people, just as a lot of people said, we are true Americans, and we actually take proud of that.
Yeah, okay. So that's all. Yeah, thank you for staying with us for this almost like 45 minutes, and appreciate it. We'll be bringing you more updated news and our own breaking news and our original story. And I just read about President Trump tweeted the Tucker Carlson's show, which bear the name of Inconvenient Truth, which is one of our Twitter account with our network, Sound of Hope. And all right.
Yeah, at the end, I just wanted to get a feel of how you like the interview. It's a little bit long today, but how do you like the content of this interview? Because that will also help us to consider for future contents when we choose what to bring to you.
Yeah,
we'd appreciate if you just leave your thoughts there.
Yeah, and feedback. And thank you for the Dutchback.
Yeah, and Renee.
Yeah, Dutchback. You donate, all the times. Thank you so very
really
much.
Appreciate it. And Renee, and also C. Faustner.
Yeah, and the replay. And thank you very much for staying with us. All right.
Thank you for your support.
Okay, I'm Wei.
I'm Kathy.
Until tomorrow.
Take care. See ya.
Good night.